Thanks for joining me for this chair yoga class. So I'm going to prove really that we can still build strength even if we're not sat on the floor getting up and down. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to start with mindful warm-up. You're here with me, which is great. But we're going to maybe block out what's around us, maybe close our eyes, soften our gaze, and just focus inwards. We've all got a reason for choosing to be on the mat today, and maybe we focus on that and thank ourselves from the beginning for making that time to add a little bit of movement, a little bit of strength building, a little bit of energy to our day. And as we sit, I encourage you to focus on your breath. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, feeling slightly cooler air flow over your upper lip. And when you can't breathe in anymore, breathe it out through the nose, feeling maybe the slightly warmer air also going over your upper lip. And continue that breath in your own time, lengthening the inhales, lengthening the exhales. And you might have noticed your posture's changed. Maybe you're sitting up a bit taller. Maybe your emotions, your feelings have changed. Maybe they haven't. There's no judgment on the yoga mat. Just observation and mindfulness. Just being really aware of what your body is doing. And on your next inhale, I encourage you to circle your arms out and up to the sky, stretching your fingertips all the way up to the sky. Maybe your nose, your gaze follows, looking at your fingertips. Maybe you can bring your shoulders a little bit further back, opening them up. And then on your next exhale, circling your arms back down. We're going to do that 3 more times with your own breath. So inhale as you rise your arms up to the sky. And exhale, bringing them back down. 2 more. The last one. And on this next one, I know it's the 4th, I said 3. I'm going to go all the way up to the sky. But instead of bringing the arms down, we're going to twist. So we're going to look, leading with our chest to the right hand side. So we want to feel this rotation coming through the spine, arms reaching up to the sky. Really active, warming up the trunk of your body. And then on an exhale, relaxing your arms down. You might want to put your left hand on your right knee. And then you've got options depending on your chair. You might just leave your hand next to you on the seat. Or maybe you drape it behind you on the chair. We don't want to be tugging round. We still want the movement mainly from the core, but maybe that little extra support as you look over your right shoulder. Then on your next inhale, arms up to the sky, come back to the center, look up maybe, and exhale to the other side. Again, leading with your chest, not your neck, feeling the rotation in your spine before exhaling to a more relaxed twist, maybe looking over your left shoulder. And on your next inhale, arms up to the sky, back to center. Breathe in, maybe a little bit more. And out, circling your arms back down. You might want to give your shoulders a roll back, forward. Just get some warmth through them. Doesn't matter how you do it. You might bring your back into it as well. Just bring in some natural movement that your body might be craving right now. And then finding stillness, sitting up straight, crown of the head lengthening towards the sky, bringing maybe your head a bit further back. We often hunch quite a lot, but maintaining that head over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips. And I invite you now to really plant your feet on the ground, if that's there for you today. Mine will maybe up a little bit, but really consciously feel the ground beneath your feet. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to extend out that right leg, toes up to the sky, and then lift it up. It doesn't matter how high you go. You might be all the way up here. You might just be just off the ground. You might have a slight bend in your knee. I'm going to hold this here for 3 breaths, trying to find that stillness. We're building strength in those quads. You might feel that you can lift your kneecap. 1 more breath. And then I'll invite you, keeping your leg there, obviously take a break if you feel like you need it, and point and flex the toes. Pointing them out away from you, and then bringing your toes back. And you can do this in sync with your breath. But the key thing is just to remember to keep breathing. This can be quite hard if you're not used to strengthening this part of your body. The key is to keep breathing. Your breath is your fuel. You might want to add some circles one way, the other. If you're getting really experimental, you might try figures of 8. Trying to keep your knee still up to ground. We're getting that motion into that ankle. I cannot figure this figure of 8 thing, but work in progress. Okay, and then on your next exhale, lower your foot back to the ground, planting it firmly on the floor, and we'll do the same again on the other side. So you might want to take breath in and out to reset. And then inhale, lift that leg up, toes up to the sky. It can be as high as it feels right. It doesn't have to be the same height as it was on the other foot. I'm going to take 3 breaths here. Long, deep, controlled breaths. You might start to feel that leg shake. Okay, 1 more breath in. And out with stillness. And then pointing and flexing those toes. Gosh, I can feel the shake. And then finding those circles, maybe really moving those ankles. Or maybe that figure of 8, which again, I'm struggling with. Try it one way and the other. These are great movements, not only for your body, but your brain as well. Okay, on your next exhale, lower that leg to the ground, planting your feet firmly. Maybe raise your heels up to the sky, plant them down, raise your toes, plant them down. Really feeling that movement. Amazing. Okay, we're going to move back up to the back, just vary it up a little bit. I'm going to take a side bend, and there will be options here. So raising your arms up to the sky on an inhale, and you can either interlock your fingers above your head, or you can take one wrist with the other. So I'm going to take my left wrist with my right hand, extend up to the sky, and then bend over to the right. And we want to keep our chest facing forward rather than down. Really want to accentuate that length in the side body. And you might want to look up. And if you want to add a little bit more, you might actually also want to cross one leg over the other. And just notice how that feels different, if it does at all. For some people, this intensifies the stretch. You also might feel your core working a little bit more to maintain your balance. And on your next inhale, Unravel if you're cross-legged, back up to the sky, and swap your arms over if you're clasping wrists, and then bend across to the left. And then again, you have the option, if you'd like it, to cross that right leg over the left. And inhale back up, unravel to the sky. And we're going to take a forward fold. So arms down, maybe they're on your lap and you're folding a little bit. We're trying to keep a straight back here. So I'll move to the side, you stay where you are. But instead of doing a forward fold like this with a rounded back, I'm encouraging you to move from your hips and pivot so you've got a flat back as far as you can go. That might be here today. It might be that you can make it all the way to the ground, toes on the floor, fingers on the floor even, flat back. But only go as far as your back is flat. And you might have some books or blocks, which might help you bring the ground up to you. Not forgetting to keep breathing. These static holds are great. They build the strength, the endurance in our muscles. And we often, when we're still in relaxed positions, instead of being in this more active position. Okay, and on your next inhale, so breathe in on your next inhale, and on your next exhale, round down onto the ground, towards the ground. Dropping your head, and this might look like this for you. That's totally okay. I prefer this actually. And on your next inhale, whenever it is, slowly start to extend the crown of your head forward, flattening your back, and hinging back up to seated. Don't know about you, I'm feeling the energy that I'm creating. I'm sort of a little bit out of breath. Nothing wrong with that. It's all different movement. Maybe you're breathing it. Okay. On your next inhale, we're going to take your right leg to the right hand side and turn that foot out facing, can be completely next to you, going out to the side, could be a little further forward. We're going to take a warrior one. So put this foot and then we're going to extend our left foot and try and push down with the back of that foot. And so that foot might be somewhere out in front of you. It might be that your legs are in a straight line. It depends on the mobility you have in your hips and also your chair. So I've moved a little bit further forward on my chair to give me the space to move. And I like to have my front foot, as it will be, sort of at a 2 o'clock position rather than a 3 o'clock. And I've got this other leg coming out to the side. We want to keep this right knee bent, roughly at a right angle, and this left one extended, pushing in to the back of that foot. And we're going to turn our chest to be to the right hand side and raise our arms up to the sky. Looking up, inhaling. And then we're going to exhale and open up into the warrior two. So our chest and our hips are going to open up to the front. We're going to transition between those two. Say another 3 times. So inhale up to the warrior one. And exhale, open out into warrior two. Inhale up, pushing into that back foot. And exhale to warrior two. We're going to do one more warrior one. And we're going to take our right hand down. Maybe we put it on our chair. Maybe we wrap it behind us. We lean back into a reverse warrior. And inhale, come back up. opening out into warrior two and putting maybe our arms on our hips and bringing that back leg and rotating to be sat. So our legs are at any angle. It could be here, but our toes pointed out a little bit into a seated goddess pose. So you've got the option here to maybe take it a little bit more passively. You're still working your legs. You might be able to feel the sides of your legs as you're pulling out those knees. So we don't want to be collapsing in. We really want to try and keep this a little bit more active in the legs. And if you want to give it a little bit more, you might want to put one elbow and the other elbow on the inside of your thighs, leaning forward, pushing out with your elbows just to give you a little bit more on your inner thighs. You might prefer to be sat up. But this is your practice. You make it your own. And just remember, keep breathing, keep those shoulders relaxed. We want our breath to be really in the chest going down to the belly. Our shoulders shouldn't really be moving. Okay, one more breath in. Breath out. And we're going to take, if you would like it, a revolved position. So we're going to twist. So I like to maybe have my hands in prayer position, twist to the left hand side with my chest, keeping my legs as they are, keeping that engagement. And then reach that right hand down past the knee, maybe you're by your calf, down towards your ankle. This is another place that's really great to have a block if you want it. Bring the ground up to you. Place your hand flat if you want a bit more support, or you can just let your hand hover. If you want a little bit more, you can extend that left hand up to the sky. Maybe you look up, maybe you look down. Maybe have a play. See what works for your body. And remember to keep breathing. And then on your next inhale, maybe bringing your hands back to prayer position, coming back up to neutral. And we'll do the same on the other side. So revolved, turn to the right hand side again from your chest, feeling the rotation in your spine rather than using your nose or your neck. And then on exhale, you might drop that left hand, reaching it down to the ground or as far as you go, maybe resting on a block or a book, and giving yourself a little bit more by opening up that right hand up to the sky. Really wanting to keep an open chest. Don't forget your neck. You want to let it hang, but actually keep that engaged, keep it active. And on an inhale, coming back up to center. This might be a good time to shake out your body a little bit, whatever it needs. And we're going to do the same on the left-hand side with the warriors. So keeping that left foot now bent and open out to the side. Maybe I'll move this block out of the way. And extending that right leg out to the side, pushing down into the back of that foot. I'm going to inhale up into that warrior one position. Then on your next exhale, open your arms out to your sides, chest facing forward to your warrior two position. Do that another 2 times. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Try and keep those arms level. One might drop. Really, maybe have a look. Just make sure your arms are roughly level with your shoulders. And then inhale, last one. Exhale, warrior two. Then like last time, we're going to go into that warrior one on an inhale. Place that left hand on the chair next to you, behind your back. And then reverse your warrior. Bending your back, looking up to the sky. Doesn't have to be a deep back bend, just as far as you feel is good for you today. Inhale back up to warrior one, and come back, maybe hands on the hips, facing forward. So that's a lot on our legs in this position, so I would recommend bringing them to be parallel. Maybe your feet are a little bit further apart and your knees are in. Lean back a little bit on your chair if you can. I like to put my hands on the seat next to me and just take some movement. So that knee that's dropping in is countering that movement of our legs being so far out. Internal rotation. Maybe loosen up the hips a bit. Doesn't matter if your feet are flat to the ground or you're on your toes, whatever is working for you today. Naturally, I feel like I've been in a straight position for quite a bit, so we'll take a couple of cat-cows. So breathe in, relax your shoulders, shine your chest forward, maybe your nose up to the sky, and exhale, curling your back over, rounding your chest. And then inhaling, chest forward, nose up to the sky, exhale, rounding through. And again, you might want to take something a little less traditionally cat-cow, taking your movement left and right, maybe some circles. And then when you're ready, find some stillness. And just notice how your body is feeling now. Maybe you're feeling really loose after that movement, feeling relaxed. Might be feeling a little bit fatigued. I kind of have a weird combination of both. We're now going to take a seated eagle. We've done a bit of twisting. We've worked our shoulders, our back, our legs. I'm going to put all of this together. And there are lots of options for this. So we'll start with taking the right leg and crossing it over the left. You might want to bring your left leg a little bit towards the center, but it's totally up to you. Just notice what you've chosen. And this might be your eagle legs for today. Keeping the spine tall and your breath natural. You also might want to hook that foot round, so your right foot round your left ankle, really taking that bind, and maybe notice how your legs are feeling with that, what's engaging to do that. Or you might want to keep it loose. But if it is kept loose, I encourage you to keep it active rather than just hanging here. Really engage the feet, flex your toes, and actively pull that foot towards your left leg. Keeping the activation through your legs, building that strength. And then I invite you to bring your hands up in front of you, and we're going to take the left arm and cross it over the right arm. And then bring your hands to opposite shoulders. So you've sort of stacked your elbows one on top of the other. And this might be enough for you. This is quite a lot already. We don't do this in everyday life. I encourage you to maybe lift your elbows a little bit. Just feeling a little bit more stretch, and this might be your eagle arms today. If you want a little bit more, I invite you to bring the backs of your hands together. Again, lifting your elbows. You want your elbows at least level, I would say, if not a little bit higher, just to really engage those muscles and build that strength. And if you really want to, you can take the bind and bring palm to palm. Again, not forgetting your leg, keeping that active. It's not in the bind. And then slowly pulse your arms. So when you inhale up, exhale down. Just a few breaths, pulsing in your own time, building that strength in your arms. Do one more breath. And then slowly unravel your arms, your legs coming back to a neutral seated position. rolling your shoulders, giving that bit of movement you need before we go straight onto the other side. So we're going to cross that left leg over the right leg. And again, you have the choice, keeping that foot really active, flexing the toes, pulling it towards the other leg, or taking the bind round. And that might be different on this side. Our legs are slightly different lengths. Our hips have different spaces. We're not symmetrical. Okay, then bringing your arms forward. Same options again. So instead, this time we're going to bring our right arm over our left. And then bring our hands to our shoulders, stacking those elbows on top of each other, lifting them up. Really activating our body. We're not just letting it hang there. If you'd like a bit more, bringing the backs of your hands together, maybe the palms of your hands together as well. Raising those elbows and then taking those pulses. Not forgetting your breath. And then final breath. And unravel on your exhale, coming back to that position. Neutral position, feet planted on the ground, facing straight forward, hands maybe on your lap or your knees. Rolling your shoulders back, down, feeling your shoulder blades move as you circle your shoulders backwards and forwards. We're going to take that twist that we did right at the beginning. So arms up to the sky, and then twist to the right from the spine. So you guide with your chest, keeping it active, reaching the fingertips all the way up to the sky before letting your arms drop and relaxing a little bit more into this. Keeping the length in your spine, maybe looking over your right shoulder. And notice how it might be feeling a bit different. Perhaps you have more space than you did at the beginning. You can rotate a little bit further around. Perhaps not. Actually, you're tired. Your body's tired, so it's not quite going as far. And your next inhale, arms up to the sky, coming back to center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, turning to the left. So keeping the knees straight forward. And then on an exhale, relaxing those arms down. Maybe you can twist a little bit further from your chest for a bit more, looking over that left shoulder. And on your next inhale, bringing your hands up to the sky, twisting back, reaching the hands up, and then bringing your hands back to your lap, taking that movement, maybe a cat-cow, if that feels good for you, or any other fluid movement, just moving your back. When you're ready to settle, I invite you to find some stillness. Feet planted on the ground, shoulders relaxed, and your spine in a neutral position, keeping the curves of your spine as they naturally want to be rather than trying to straighten them out. I invite you, if they're not already, for you to close your eyes and take some moments to focus inwards as you notice your breath. Perhaps it's changed, it might be a little bit faster and deeper. You feel like you've been working really hard. Just notice if it's changing at all as you take this time to rest. And just observe with no judgment, with no expectation. I invite you to start bringing a little bit of movement, maybe wiggling your toes, lifting them off the ground, lifting your heels off the ground maybe, moving your fingers, your shoulders, maybe your neck a little bit. Starting with little movements, making them a little bigger. And maybe blinking your eyes open and taking in what's around you, maybe with a new perspective. Feeling the gratitude towards yourself for making this time to build strength, that time for you physically and mentally. And take those feelings, that positivity, that gratitude into the rest of your day. Namaste.